Boom! That's right. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite live podcast, and that is ComicXWeeb. I am your co-host, James, aka Comics for Cheap, aka Shang-Chi was pretty awesome. And we have the co-host over here with me.
Already gave away what he thinks of the movie. It's your boy Chris, aka Black Santa, aka yo, real talk. I had a guy, one of my homies, his brother's sister's best friend brother went to Bishop Sycamore, aka Super Cold Water.
That's right. Hit that like button, subscribe,
Smash
it if you haven't already. All that usual nonsense. This is your weekly live podcast where we talk about comic books, movies, everything pop culture, anime, all your fun stuff, sports, just anything that we feel like talking shit about. We talk shit about it, and we love to have you guys participate in the comments and in the chat. So we appreciate you guys for watching. And today we're going to kick it off with what we were just talking about before we jumped on live, and just jump into some NFL stuff because the NFL is coming back this Thursday. I'm excited. I'm going
Cowboys versus the Buccaneers.
That's right. Ooh, that's the start. Of course, it's Brady as the kickoff. But yeah, so
he is Super Bowl defending champion. So
I'm saying I'm about it. I didn't even know he was going to come back this year, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised. No, not like because he sucks. It's just I thought for real, like he was just gonna be like, all right, I won. And
to be fair, you did say before the Chiefs, and this is on one of our older podcasts too, one of our older episodes. Before the Chiefs lost, you did say if Tom win, you thought he was gonna retire. I said I didn't think he would, but you said you did think he would, so I will give you that.
That's I thought so, just because he is getting a little up there in age, and to why not retire when you're on top, but he's back for another year. I'm going to the Panthers game this Sunday. I'm very excited about it. But the main thing I want to talk about is Cam Newton getting booted from the Patriots. He got the booty from the Patriots.
Oh my god.
And you were telling me that it has a little more to do with him not being vaccinated for the COVID vaccine.
So at least what I think, that it played a lot to him not being vaccinated, because think about it like this. Okay. If Cam was the starter, let's say it was like, all right, Cam, you're going to be the starter, which I feel personally that if things would have played out normal, Cam would still be on the team and he would have started the first couple of games and we would have seen how things went. But what ruined it? Cam ended up not testing positive for COVID, but he was with somebody or around somebody who did test positive. And because Cam is not vaccinated, since he was around somebody who got popped, whoever that person was, family, friend, whatever, since he's not vaccinated, Cam automatically had to go into quarantine. And he had to miss a preseason game, and he had to miss practice time. He had to do all this other stuff. And that did not help his case. That right there, when you already got Bill Belichick, who's told a reporter a while back that one of his biggest regrets is not putting Tom Brady in earlier, not putting him in on his rookie year, not doing it earlier than when he actually did it when Bledsoe went down. Matt and Cam didn't look that much different, like in terms of who looked better. I still think Cam looked a little better, but Matt looked pretty good himself. So even though he played against backups, that's my whole thing. And why I definitely say Cam would have been my starter.
Yeah, but it is hard to judge.
But plus it's preseason. No one's going to go all out because you don't want to get hurt.
Right. And there were so many injuries already.
I know the Baltimore Ravens, they're in a lot of trouble with a lot of losses they got. And I really didn't think Baltimore was going to win this year anyway, but they had a chance. I don't think they have a chance right now. Anyway, and this real cool, finish my part for Cam. Cam, since he's not vaccinated, this can happen again. Since Cam is apparently choosing not to be vaccinated, this can happen over and over. So what if your team is balling and they're in a spot where they're playing good enough, but they're still on the verge of being a playoff team? Like they have to win the next big game, and Cam is your starting quarterback, and then he goes down. Not him even catching COVID because he was around somebody who caught COVID.
Right.
And he's gone. Now, remember, this is serious. Now, if he ends up somehow catching it and then getting everybody else on it, and if he would have been vaccinated, his chance would have been lowered. Let's say he doesn't get it, but whatever. The worst scenario happens. He gets it. He gets some more people going. If the team forfeits a game, they don't make it up like they did last year. They lose that game. If they get COVID, they don't make that game up. They forfeit that game now. And then those players don't get paid. No one gets paid if you miss a game. So if Cam doesn't go down, he doesn't even get paid. And everybody else don't get paid who went down. So you think they're going to be happy with Cam? If he goes in there and catches it and gives it to the whole team, they lose the game automatically now. And no one gets paid. How happy you think those boys going to be? So I think deep down that was one of the reasons. Not the reason, but that was definitely one of the reasons why Bill Belichick was like, you know what? This is not worth it. I'm just gonna release him, and we're gonna go with Jones. Cam calls him mac and cheese. Okay, we're just gonna go with mac and cheese, and we're gonna let him go out there and play.
So whatever. I mean, however Cam Newton personally feels about whatever, that's fine. But I don't know. I guess if he didn't have like the self-control to be able to just like chill for a couple months while playing for the Patriots, I guess that could be a problem.
Already.
He does seem to be a type of person that will just do whatever the fuck he wants anyway. But yeah, I personally, I didn't know that all that was going on. I thought it was more like they said they were going to give the starter position to Mac and Cheese, and then Cam was like, I ain't gonna be back up to Mac and Cheese, and so he just kind of bounced. Type of thing, like either you start me or nothing, and they chose nothing. So now that I know it's more to do with the health and safety, and also now, okay, so now you're saying that if a team, so if one person on the team gets COVID, they lose.
If it gets to a point where they have to, like in the past, where like last year, I should say, where if what's up,
Ronnie?
Ends up getting in last year, and it traveled too much where it was best for them to, we're not going to play this game because of the situation. They would just make the game up. It wasn't like an automatic forfeit. Now it's a forfeit. There's there's not even thinking about, can we make this up later on during the season, or can we figure something out how we can make this work? No, nothing. If your team can't play because too many people have COVID, or you make another team at risk because of the situation, whatever it is, your team automatically forfeits that game.
Wow. So now there's going to be...
They're not playing. They're not playing with COVID at all.
Now there's going to be conspiracies, I'm sure, of teams hiring COVID-infested people and sending them into the locker rooms.
Wonder where these conspiracies is coming from.
Cough on everyone. I'm just saying. That's my first... If it's my first thought, people who getting paid the big bucks, they're also thinking like this. So...
I do want to say this, and this could be a hot take or whatever. I don't care. We say what we feel. Honestly, man, if I was Bill or if I was a team like that, I would release a player if he chose not to be vaccinated, if he's going to play, and he's a star player too. Especially, I feel if you're the quarterback at least, and you're the starting quarterback, to me, you have an obligation as a leader to be vaccinated, knowing what the rules are. Knowing what it can mean if you're not playing because you end up getting in trouble. And I know people have the right to have their own opinions and feels and do what they want to do. I do get that. But I feel if you're the leader of the team, you're the quarterback, you have to be vaccinated. You have to not put your team in a situation where, especially if they're on the verge of making the playoffs or seeding that can get them home field and they're a team that dominates on the home, whatever it can be, to give you the biggest edge, to get a bye week so you don't have to play if you got some injuries going on, because now we got an extra game now. So you could have even more injuries. Maybe you need that extra time to heal. You're one of those kind of teams. You do not need to put your team at risk. So to me, the star quarterback, Cam, whether he should have been vaccinated, to me is just no excuse for why Cam Newton is not vaccinated. To me, if you want to be a star quarterback, you need to be vaccinated. I'm sorry.
And nobody has picked him up since he was released.
He has not been picked up now. There was talk about, the Cowboys might look at him for a backup role, but Jerry Jones has already said, if you're not vaccinated, you're not playing for the Cowboys. Just that simple. So
Ron Rivera was saying something about it too. Yeah, Ron Rivera was saying something about it too with the Panthers, but they were not interested in him this year, but they said maybe in the future or something like that. And I thought that was.
And you gotta remember, Ron Rivera. If I'm not right, he has a very weak immune system. Because he had I forgot what he had. Well, okay, yeah, but no, it wasn't just that. It was either cancer or something he battled from and came back from. I think it was cancer.
Gotcha.
So yeah, duh. He's not gonna have that happen. Like, no, I'm sorry, bro. Like, Cam, you're not coming anywhere near us. I'm sorry, bro. Like, get vaccinated, then we'll talk. But that ain't happening. Plus, with the Cowboys real fast, there was no way he was going there anyway. Because if you got Cam Newton, Cam Newton also puts himself in a bad situation for being Cam Newton because of he's a former MVP. He has that outspoken personality. None of that's bad. But you don't want that guy
like a grandma at church.
Huh?
I said he dresses like a grandma going to church.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of we hit a disrespect Cam's dressing and the way he dressed.
Look, Chris. All right, I'm just saying you come out the locker room, Chris, and you do an interview with the media, dressing up like my grandma going to church. You gonna be made fun of like a little bit, man.
I never said you're wrong. All right, I'm a huge Russell Westbrook fan. But the way he dressed, oh dear God, big Dwayne Wade fan. The way he dresses, oh my goodness. So all right.
But in more positive news about the NFL, I've come around a little bit about how I feel about Aaron Rodgers as a person. I've always thought he's like obviously a great quarterback, but I think he's mellowed out a little bit. Chris, he's got the long hair, the long hippie look. Looks like he's been smoking a little bit of weed, enjoying some family time. He agreed to come back with the Packers, even though he was throwing this huge fit about not or wanted to off the team or leave Green Bay. But the fact that he's back and seems to be comfortable and laughing on the sidelines a little more, which is good to see. I just so many people, like including myself, they seem to think that he's a bit of an asshole, and he does come off that way a little bit, especially. How he talks about some of his teammates is just not very nice, but right now he seems to be chilling. I don't know,
chilling.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
What do I think? This has been the same Aaron Rodgers for the last 3 years. He hasn't changed. His personality has been the same. There's nothing new about him other than the fact that he looks like a hippie now. That's the only thing that has changed. That he looks like he just chills around and smokes weed now. Aaron has not changed.
Look, that'll change you though, bro.
I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. You know I like A-Rod. I'm sorry. Every time I call him, I hate doing that because the only A-Rod to me is Alex Rodriguez, who was a former Yankee who played us, helped us get another championship. But the point is, Aaron Rodgers has not changed. The only thing's changed is he looked like hippie Jesus Aaron Rodgers now. That's it.
Well, if Jesus was white, but yes.
I mean, according to the Bible, if you really look at the Bible, I don't think Jesus was a white guy.
Dude, he's from the Middle East. He's not white. I don't know how many. I want to go into like a church, like one of them big fucking churches on like in the middle of Sunday service, like one of them big Catholic churches or something, and just shout from the back that Jesus was not white, and then get chased out by an angry mob with pickets.
Yeah, they will chase you out. It did show how truly Christian they really are when they try to kill you and crucify you like Jesus was. Like seriously, you even read the description of Jesus in the Bible. That dude wasn't white.
Right. I know.
That's not white at all.
But whatever. However you want your Jesus to look. Korean Jesus is for me, so that's what I'm all about. And
Black Jesus.
But look, yeah, that's right, Black Jesus. So yeah, maybe the drum circles really changed how Aaron views life and everything like that. He's just sitting there, chilling with the drums, banging on the whatever the fuck they're called. I don't even know. Just chilling, having a good time, smoking some weed on the fire.
Right?
The bongos, thank you. whatever this is, whatever that is.
Whatever that was. You feeling the ghost up or something, bro?
I was in orchestral band for 12 years. I can't fucking name this goddamn instrument right here. Shit, that's funny. But yeah, it looks like Aaron's gonna enjoy himself. Hey, coming off of a MVP year too, he's MVP of the league. I'm sure he's got a little weight off his shoulders from that too. So hopefully he enjoys himself and has a good time this season. I don't know.
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers, who was looked at as the greatest passer by a lot of people, including myself. Even though I know some people say a lot of people say Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Me personally, the greatest quarterback of all time is Peyton Manning. That's just me. I'm a big Peyton fan, and I think Peyton did it much longer. And in terms of like dominance, where Brady, his first couple of seasons, definitely those first Super Bowl seasons, you can make a huge argument. Brady was not the reason for them. It was the defense, and Brady just didn't ruin anything. He was just a great game manager, where Peyton Manning from the get-go was a star. He wasn't a game manager. He was never a game manager. He was the face and the guy of the franchise. Well, Brady eventually came down. But it's ain't disrespect Brady. Brady is the man. There's no question about it. And if you say Brady's the greatest of all time, I will not argue that. But I'm just saying, to me personally, I think it's the whole man, Peyton Manning.
Is Peyton doing anything? I figured he would go into broadcasting like
they wanted him to so bad. They've offered him crazy amount of money. We offered Tony Romo this. We're like triple that for you. He keeps turning them down. I think he just wants to chill. Some kind of broadcasting, though, if I'm not right, but he's mainly turned down a lot of the big gigs.
Because I figured that's it. Like he was doing commercials, he was fucking he was on TV all the time. I was like, man, he's just gonna slide right into a broadcasting career, and then he didn't. And I was kind of surprised. Not that let him have his time, let him relax a little bit, do whatever the fuck he wants. But I was just. That's kind of what I expected. I was like, "There's no way that's not what he's gonna do." Because shit, we saw Michael Phelps fucking on the Olympics broadcasting. I'd say, and he's Michael Phelps. So I was like, well, Peyton Manning's kind of like the Michael Phelps of football. So I just figured that he was gonna go straight into that type of thing. So that's just kind of that's what I thought.
Now I want to say one more thing about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, dude. Stop it. Your hatred for Aaron Rodgers. This man cannot stand Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God, this guy hates Aaron Rodgers.
I just don't like when it's like a leader of a team is publicly bashing members of your team in media. Like, you could say that shit in the locker room, sure, right? But like when you get on the radio or whatever you're doing, and you're like, oh well, reason we're not winning is because this particular person like says his name, and he's like is not holding it down. I tried like 3 times. He's dropping everything I throw to him, and he's the reason we're losing. I was like, that's kind of a shitty thing to do. And then there was all the crap coming out about his family life, which usually I don't care about. Like, whatever you do with your family is your family.
But that's not Aaron's fault, though. Aaron wasn't the one like doing that. He did not want to talk about it.
Right.
So I mean, I can't blame.
That's
Aaron.
why I'm like, family.
The media always look into your situation and bring up stuff that they shouldn't be bringing up. Honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that has nothing. Like, his family life to me has nothing to do with him playing football.
Right. Exactly.
When the media brought that up, I was like, screw you guys.
Yeah.
Like, as big as the D-Wade fan was, I can tell you like all this dude's statistical numbers. But for the first like 4 to 5 years of his career, I didn't even know he had kids. Because I don't care about that kind of stuff. Like, that doesn't. I'm only here to watch Dwayne Wade, the basketball player, and watch him play for the Miami Heat and see how that rolls out. His personal life is his personal life. Unless he's physically harming somebody or doing something crazy like Michael Vick was, I really don't care what you're doing in your personal life. Like, I really don't care.
Oh my God, I haven't heard a Michael Vick reference in a long time.
Fine, like what Ray Rice did when he knocked out his girl who became his wife later on. When he knocked her out, put her to sleep. In the
elevator. Hell yeah.
He stood there and dragged her out. Damn, dude.
Elevator, dude. That's like cage match. That's like Bonesaw versus Peter Parker in Spider-Man 1, baby. He's like, I got you for 3 minutes.
Yep. And, it did not work out for her.
And it took 5 seconds.
Yep. That's exactly what it basically came down to. But
that's terrible. Why are we making Ray Rice jokes like 15 years later? It's fucking ridiculous that we're doing this shit, dude.
Why not, bro? You gotta do it.
All right, let's move. Well, we're not really moving out of sports because I want to talk about the Logan Paul fight as well, and then we'll move out of sports. So I meant to talk about it last week because it just happened, but I forgot. So we're going to talk about it this week.
Make sure they got it wrong. Look, there's no homo. There's one thing that I have to bring up. It was the number one thing that we didn't talk about. We got to talk about real fast.
Okay.
The biggest news that we missed. I can't believe we missed it.
Mm-hmm.
OnlyFans, bro. They did what was needed, bro. They have decided to say, screw that crap. You want to have sexual explicit stuff going on? You want to have that pounding? You want to have that carpet licking? Bro, you're good to go.
Bro, they probably heard our idea about what we were going to do for OnlyFans. And like, we can't deny this man this platform.
Yeah.
And what he wants to do here for the brand. So they're just like, we got to open it back up. Shit, yeah, that was kind of crazy that they wanted to. So instantly, obviously, everyone just was like, turn their backs on OnlyFans and you know, whatever. And then it's like, did it even take 2 days? 2 days later, they were like, "Oh, just kidding, guys." So they tried to blame. They tried to blame banking and funding from banks. And like, bro, come on, stop it.
I didn't mention that before. Y'all just talked about investors. What is all this new crap you're talking about? Yeah,
at least tell the truth a little bit. They, you know, but whatever. The people are still seem to be turning away and turning against them. But yeah. Anyways, back to Logan Paul. Whoever he fought, he won again. Whoa. I know it was an MMA fighter, right? Okay, so you know, exciting. Not really. He made a huge payday. The guy who lost made also a huge payday.
I think they both. How much did they both make? I think it was even. They both made the same amount.
Like $100 million is what they were trying to say. Like what the fuck?
Crazy like that. But they both made the same amount, from my understanding.
Bro, I'll get knocked out for $100 million. God damn. I won't even put up a fight. I'll just be like, let's go. I'll be like Johnny Knoxville against Butterball or Butterbean, whatever his name was. Butterball.
Butterbean, yes.
Yeah, Butterbean. When Butterbean knocked him out.
That dude in his prime, that dude would knock you out, bro. That dude was a monster.
That dude will still knock me out. Not in his prime.
He might, yeah. He probably will, yeah.
That dude knocked out Johnny Knoxville in a fucking retail boutique. He fell so hard onto the glass display case that he was instantly taken to the hospital.
Yep.
And oh my god, it was just ridiculous. The funniest part I remember about that fight is that Butterbean just dropped his gloves. He's like, "All right, get one punch in," and he didn't even move. Like Johnny tried to hit him as hard as he could, and he didn't move even an inch. It was like he was brushing a gnat off. Yeah. I was like, dude, you're about to die now. Like when you see that happen, and then he's like, all right, my turn. And he's like, okay, well now you die.
No, it's just like when they had in Day, it was back Day F back then. They decided one of the dumbest things ever. They was like, we're gonna have actual shoot fights, and in wrestling, the term shoot means real. So they was like, we're gonna have actual shoot fights. We're gonna have real fights in the ring, and then the winner is gonna going to be build up to this big thing. They had a particular guy they thought was going to win and they wanted to win, but this is the reason why you keep wrestling scripted. Keep in mind, I didn't say fake because the bumps they take is real. It's scripted. Right. Though, like their guy went down pretty early. He got his ass knocked out, and they was like, "Oh crap, what do we do now?" And the guy that knocked him out actually ended up winning. So what they end up doing is getting Butterbean to go in there and fight him, and Butterbean slaughtered him. It wasn't even a fight. And this dude was like, I thought I had a chance. And then I got in the ring. And it was like, no. Butterbean beat the crap out of him, put him to sleep. And it was
Butterbean is like, I don't even think he's human. Like, I think that dude is just an alien. I mean, first of all, he looks like Jabba the Hutt. All right. So he could possibly be... could possibly be of alien descent, but that dude is just a monster, man. Like right. I wouldn't want to face. I don't know how he got anybody to face him. I'd just be like, nah, I'm good. I'll pass on that fight. Like even if I don't care what you're offering to pay me. Butterbean, nah, I'm good. Just
bro, unless some Mike Tyson or like Evander Holyfield or one of those kind of guys, I ain't fighting that dude, bro.
That dude is just too big. Like what? He's in his own weight class. Like you got to put him up against sumo wrestlers, and they can't throw a punch. I mean, it's just not fair.
Yeah, you gotta knock them out too.
Probably he moves faster than him. That's the other thing. He's fucking quick. It's like how is that
quick for a size? Yes.
How is that dude so big but so quick? Like that's what I'm saying, dude. Quick, Alien is the only way to explain it. But back to Logan.
Yes. I actually think that one of the reasons why this dude is winning a lot of his fights, is I think that these guys, one, they're putting them, like you said before, they're putting him in situations where he's going against guys who obviously are not real trained boxers, and they're not they're not trained enough time to even really train to even try. What this dude is legit, he has trained. I'll give him credit for that, and he is taking it more serious than these guys are. And I think that's another key thing. These guys is going there and just saying, "Oh, this is just a regular YouTuber. I'm just gonna knock him out." Right. Well, this dude is a YouTuber, yeah, but he's actually training. And these guys aren't really trained or taking it serious, and then they get in the ring with him, and then they lose. And it's just like, like if you go into a ring with an amateur boxer, and you have nothing going on, that dude's gonna just slaughter you. Like you're gonna get beat down because he's training in that boxing ring. This ain't a street fight. This is an actual boxing fight. He's training to get the job done, and Logan seems to be taking this very serious. Where these guys aren't. It's like, I'm just gonna knock this YouTuber out. It's gonna be easy money. Okay?
Norm says they're trained to make money. That's right. I mean, training is training, right?
Yeah, that's true. But and you can also say it could be rigged too. But I'm just saying.
I mean, it's possible. There's definitely whenever there's money involved, like the caliber that they're talking about, $100 million payout or whatever it was. Yeah. They may have exaggerated or been superfluous a little bit, but $100 million payout, let's just say that is real. Then you got to think about all the money that's going on in Vegas as well. So that whole circle needs to keep moving and spinning. So everyone obviously wants to see this guy who is so hated, like so popular yet so hated. It just doesn't make sense to me. But they want to see him fall, and until he falls, they're going to keep paying for the pay-per-view and this and that and the other. So of course it's in everyone in the entertainment industry, in this particular entertainment industry's best interest, to keep him in the ring and keep fighting and keep winning and keep getting these fights with names that but like just aren't good enough, like what I mean. So it's like, to me, there is a little bit of that. I'd like to see him in his own weight class with a boxer who's on a winning streak, like who's really coming in. And then see what he can do. I mean, I'm not saying maybe he'll still win. Maybe he is trained well enough to hold his own, but probably not.
And I mean, like you said, a legit boxer, not somebody who's been out of boxing for like 10 years. Yeah. Like someone who's at least been around the last, like at least 3 years or so. Like someone who's a legit boxer and still puts in the work. Right. Let him fight and to be fair, I mean, like if you're like a heavyweight champion or one of a boxing champion in whatever division you're in, and you, even if you do equal out his weight class, that's beneath you to take that fight. I will admit that. That's 100% beneath you to go out there and fight a YouTuber. The money is amazing. And it could be what you said too, where if you keep building Jake Paul up, he keeps beating people, and everybody continues to bet and bet and bet, even in his own interest, he can get his record just enough where it needs to be. And then he can maybe convince a real legit boss, like, all right, dude, I'm going to take that dive. Right. And we're all going to make some real money here. And then he can go out there and bet, put a secret bet out, have somebody bet on him, lose whatever he needs to do. Right. And then when he finally lose and gets all that money raked in, it's like, I had a good run. I'm good. And now he's even richer than you can imagine.
Sounds like we're making a Daredevil origin story here. It's just what it seems like to me is that, because then the other dude's like, I'm not taking a fall to Logan Paul. And then the mob shows up and fucking caps his ass. And then he's got a blind kid at home that's been like living off all of this. And he's like, no, daddy. No. And then all of a sudden, like he meets this guy named Stick, and then like they're like, "Can you smell that pussy 10 blocks away?" He's like, "Yeah, I fucking can smell that pussy 10 blocks away." And then boom, Daredevil. We got a real life Daredevil. That's how it happens, man. You gotta be careful. That's all I'm saying.
Pussy 10 miles away.
Street Food says they need to send him to Russia, and those guys don't joke around. The venue is in the old USSR, like that Rocky movie.
Why was I thinking that too?
Richard is in the house. What's up, Richard? He says, sounds like a good anime.
Yes, it does. Oh, little brother Richard, man, love you, man. But you're right, bro. That does sound like a great anime too, though. I'll watch a couple of seasons.
Yeah, I'll watch. Yeah, I'll watch a couple. I'll put in like 50 episodes before I decide whether I like it or not.
That's good enough. That's good enough. Mm-hmm.
All right, where do we go from here? Let's go into let's talk about
one more sports thing, just super quick, because we got other big things to talk about, but super quick.
Yeah.
This is to me, it was the funniest story of like the last week for me, and that was hands down Bishop Sycamore.
Oh yeah. We do have to talk about that. Yeah, the made up, well, not made up, but kind of made up school.
In the grand scheme of things. Yo, the new head coach, because they had to get a new one, because not only did they somehow trick, like ESPN looks like the biggest idiots in the whole world. The people was bringing it up. You can easily Google it, and people was Googling it during the game. Was like, wait a minute, I don't think this is a real high school. And the fact that somehow ESPN doesn't do the same thing, and one of their representatives was like, well, we had a feeling something wasn't right here when we was looking into certain things and couldn't find any, transcript of their students doing anything, or something just seemed off here, and you didn't go with that hunch, huh? And then they was like, well, they gave us a fake paper that talked about all the schools that their guys were going to get recruited to, where again, you could easily research that. You're ESPN. I can research that on my freaking cell phone. You're telling me ESPN, the world leader in sports, could not research that these kids, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't even call them kids, because apparently most of them are old, already graduated high school. Yeah,
which was also crazy. Their address is a P.O. box. That's sign number one. That's not a good. That's not legitimate. The kids are like living. Dude, they had to share equipment. Yeah, that was fucking crazy to see. What else? There was like the kids being older than 18. That was a little getting a little suspicious here about this school. Let's see another red flag. They had kids living in hotel rooms. That's a little sus. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know, but and then
maybe he had a tough life.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just right off the bat. It seems like something's amiss.
And what makes it even greater, their head freaking coach at the time, because they got a new head coach now. Their head coach at the time had an active arrest warrant out for his butt. And what makes it greater,
found him.
The warrant was the arrest and all this stuff was because of fraud.
Wow.
And did they do this to ESPN? I'm like, bruh, come on, son.
You can't make this up, man. That's awesome.
You can't make this up. I thought it was so fake. I was like, this can't be real. I was like, no, ESPN can't be this stupid.
Yeah, but they are.
They really are. Then as soon as I said that out loud, I was like, no, ESPN really is that stupid after what the things they've been doing these last like 10 years. So I could see this being true. And then it was. And I was just like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is so hilarious. I don't know why that story gave me so much joy, because it was just so funny to me.
Alexis was the one who told me about it first, and I was like, wait, what? And so she was like each time she like read another line from the article, I was like, is this The Onion? Like each one, I was just like, there's no way this is real. And so I still kind of didn't believe her. I was like, maybe she found like a weird fake article or something. And then like as I'm watching some other news channels, they're talking about it, I'm like, wow, this is just freaking ridiculous. Absolutely.
In the last couple of days, their new head coach has came out and said, yeah, we're not a school.
Yeah, we're not.
We don't. Like, bruh, no. They're like a lot of little class type thing, but they're not an actual school. They're not a real school.
He's
like, yeah, we're not a real school. I'm not gonna lie. He's like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, you shouldn't, because we all know. Like, come on, bro. You can't hide this. Where you at? Where your school at? Come on.
Our teaching methods are a little unconventional. You mean they don't exist? Is what you're trying to say. Exactly. There's no teaching method. It's like not conventional. Golly. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. But anyways, we did spend a lot of time on sports. Now we're going to spend a lot of time on Shang-Chi that came out
Yes.
on Friday. Shang-Chi and the Master or the Legend of the Ten Rings, Master of Kung Fu. And I saw it. Chris saw it. There's going to be a little bit of spoiler warning because we are going to talk about the movie.
We're gonna talk about it.
Break it down a little bit.
I want to know your experience going back to your first movie theater since Endgame, right?
Since Endgame, first time going back to the theater. So we've discussed how I feel about movie theaters, what's going on there. I even made a standalone video about how I feel, where the direction of movie theaters are going, and everything like that. But yeah, this is the first time I was back in a movie theater since Endgame. I went on yesterday. I just was like, I'm going on a Monday at like noon when there's not going to be anyone there, right? So I thought, we show up and the whole fucking parking lot's full. I'm like, this is not a great start to what I wanted for this movie experience. But I was like, all right, whatever. So because Alexis was even like, do you want to just go back another day? I was like, no, I'm committed to see it now. So we're going to go ahead and see it. And go. Obviously, the theater was not prepared at all for the amount of people that were showing up because there were 2 workers. It was fantastic. And so the line was ridiculous. So I was just like, and there was no one even like checking tickets or anything. I was like, what? I could have just walked into the damn theater and they never would know. But we went ahead, bought the tickets, went in, and yeah, of course, Chris.
Of course.
We sit down, and a family with a small child sits directly next to us. Oh my god, dude. It's like all the reasons I hate going to see a movie in public on my first movie in public back since Endgame. I was like, motherfucker. And it was like a 5-year-old, 5 or 6. He couldn't have been that old because his voice was like super high and he was very annoying. So I'm saying 5 or 6 is probably where he was. And I was like, why are you even bringing him to this movie? A violent movie, interrupting my experience. This is all about me. It's selfish.
Nah, screw that, bro. Yeah, exactly. This movie, it is about you, bro. Now screw that little kid. Screw his family, his parents. I was mixing family and parents up together. Screw them both.
Yeah, like it got to a point at one time of like someone definitely turned around to tell the family to be quiet. And if it wasn't that family, I think Alexis was about to fucking throw down on the kid. And I was like, oh god, here we go.
She was getting frustrated too.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like,
really was making it. He was not necessarily intentionally doing it, but he was making a scene.
Yeah. And probably intentionally too. I think it was definitely some malintent there that was going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And this vicious 5-year-old.
Yeah,
like
little bastard.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, but aside from that, he really only spoke or talked in like the first couple minutes anyway, so it was okay. But aside from that, you know what? It was all right being back in the theater.
They knocked him out and no one noticed.
Yeah, because I put chloroform on a rag and fucking.
God. Okay. All right.
I just wanted to leave that part out in case.
Yeah, you probably should have.
Police are still looking for me. I don't know.
This story sounded weirder, bro. I might have to give Dakota a call.
All right. So after I dropped the kid from the over the stairs and enjoyed the rest of the movie, back in the movie theater, I forgot how fun it was to be at a theater. So I am glad that I went. But the movie itself, let's talk about the movie, how I felt about the movie itself.
Woo,
so rocking a 92% positive right now from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 98% from audience. So it's still super high as far as reception. I think that plays a little bit into we're happy to get new characters, new story, new movie. I don't think that it was the best Marvel movie or anything like that. I thought it was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the visual effects were fantastic, especially like CGI, anything that had to do with like any kind of creature or monster that went on in the movie. I thought was really well done, and it was like flawless. Like looking at that compared to like Avengers 2, where you could just tell some of the CGI was out of whack, just because the time, obviously. They did the best they could at that time. I'm sure they're doing the best they can at this time. So just how far they've been able to come, I thought was really, really good. I think
it was better than Avengers 2?
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it was definitely better than Avengers 2.
Okay.
I think that the fight scenes were I think the only movie that rivals it fight choreography wise is Civil War. Or not Civil War, I'm sorry. Winter Soldier. Captain America Winter Soldier, I think, was the only other movie that had the on par like street hand-to-hand combat type fight scenes.
I think this was better now. I think this one was better.
You think this one was better?
I think this was better, way better.
I went into this movie like, I mean, he's called the Master of Kung Fu, right? So like I went into this movie, I guess, expecting just fight choreography that was just out of this world, and believe me, like it would, like I said, I think it was the best in the MCU, just close with Winter Soldier. So, but maybe that expectation of me going into it was just like, all right, well, it wasn't anything that was super stellar or stand out or like hit me in the face with like, holy shit, I can't believe that all that just happened type of thing.
But see, the reason I guess why I disagree with you on that one is because, like, I think Winter Soldier was great, but why I think this was just leagues better is because it was the art of the fighting too. Like, if you look at it, it reminded me a lot of like how Jackie Chan fights. Sure. How he would use everything around him as a weapon too. Yes. And he would like slip off of things. He would break something apart and use it. He was all over the place. And that's where this was to me too. It was like different acts, even in the scene that, not the full scene, but the scene that a lot of people have seen from the trailer when they're fighting in the bus, the bus and everything. There's different acts of how that fight goes down that I really enjoyed and thought was really cool. And even when he actually loses, again, we're talking about spoilers here, when he actually loses the I guess we'll say medallion on his neck or whatever, what he got from his mom, was left over from his mom or whatever. When he loses that, you don't really see it happen. You have to pay very close attention. It's right when he is like the transition of the train, the bus kind of turns and is facing, like he is facing basically his back, and he goes in for a side flip. And when he turns, because he had the chain the whole time. As soon as he turns, old boy snatches it from him. And then you don't even really see it, but he snatches it from him. Then he turns again, and then it's gone. And then they continue to fight. It's like stuff like that was just to me, it necessarily blew me away because I've been watching martial arts movies my whole life. Right. Martial arts myself. So I get all that. But I'm saying it was just the art and the different things that goes down. Even later on when he had to switch his fighting styles when he fights his father, all that stuff was just, to me, it was just good. It was just, that's why I think it was better. Because Winter Soldier, to me, it was I knew how that fight was basically going to go. It didn't really have different acts during the fight. It was just one act. Good. Right. It was really just one act. It was different things happening that I really enjoyed.
Okay. All right. There you go. I thought that, what was I going to say? Oh, I don't like how Marvel, and I was hoping we would steer a little bit away from how they did this, but God, they kill villains so fast.
I was gonna say, oh my God,
dude, oh my God. And it was just like, so I always, like, as a rule of thumb, I say to people, do not speculate on villain books. Do not do it unless it's like, for a fact it's going to be the big bad, and then you still want to get out. Just from like a speculative point of view, you still want to get out before that final movie. But Death Dealer, Razor Fist, Mandarin, and I like how they brought the actor back too.
That was great. I didn't even know that. I guess it's on Disney Plus. There's an actual little short movie that shows when the 10 Rings kidnapped my man from the jail.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. Yeah, apparently it is. It's on Disney Plus, where you can watch like a little short and see how he got there. I didn't even know that was up there. I was like, oh, that's cool.
The bus was a very well choreographed fight scene. Best one in the movie. Yeah, the bus scene definitely, like, it just like boom, it's there, it's in your face, and like
I'll give them credit too.
Yeah, it was.
When I saw that on the trailer, I was like, "Oh, y'all gave too much away." No, they did not.
No, they did not. No, yeah, no. So that bus scene was definitely dope. Yeah. But back to like the villains, like I just again spoilers because we are talking about. Dude,
I was like, really?
Death Dealer. So he's like this huge, like crazy, great fighter on par with Shang-Chi. Like they even had like a little matchup there where Shang-Chi barely bested him. And then he dies first from the creatures, like in what was supposed to be a comedy. Like his death was supposed to be funny, I guess. Like because they were instantly like, oh, I guess we got to team up together. Yeah, and that's what Razor Fist says or whatever. It's like, man, like I don't know. I have a problem when Marvel does that. So that part I did not like. So happy to see Razor Fist elevated in this movie. Wait, Razor Fist died? No, Razor Fist doesn't die, but like the other,
no, he does not die. He lives.
The other dudes.
Razor Fist was the one with the sword.
Yeah, Death Dealer was done dirty. Yeah, I wish that he had both swords, but you know, it's cool.
Sword did look cool though.
Yeah, the sword was pretty sick.
And because Razor Fist was the one I was talking about who actually snatches the medallion. But again, you don't see it or chain or whatever you want to call it. When he takes the chain from the necklace, again, and it's just a great choreographed scene. They don't force you to see it, right, but you can tell when it happens.
Right. Yeah. And then I don't like origins told in like cut up flashbacks.
They changed a lot of the story too.
Yeah, well, I'm not as familiar with his story, but
yeah,
for whatever
name, they changed the sister name.
The sister, yeah,
that's not her name in the comics.
Right.
They changed a lot. Matter of fact, she's a lot older than what she is too in the comics. They changed a lot.
But the way that they tell it, I'm not a fan of that style of just like tell a part of it and then you're back to present and then you tell a part of it and you go back to present and yeah. So that kind of, for me personally, I feel like it should just be done. Like that's Act 1, and then you have Act 2, and then you have Act 3. I don't like the stuff going on, but I get how it's supposed to, like, for callback and for emotional play. I understand that, but just telling pieces, I'm just like, just tell the origin and then move on to the next act. For me personally, that's how I feel.
No, I get you.
As far as storytelling and everything like that goes, it just makes more sense in my head to tell it that way. But yeah, and then the ending with Fin Fang Foom was dope. I really liked Fin Fang Foom against the Soul Eater. Thought that was pretty sick. It did become more of just like dragon against creature fight than anything else. Which I don't know how I feel about that. They
don't actually confirm that it's Fin Fang Foom, though, do they?
I don't think they named him.
It's heavily implied. I don't think it's actually. I personally don't even know if it's actually him. I think it might be like an imitation. I don't know. It's just, I know they don't like flat out confirm it's him.
No, they don't flat out say it looks a lot like him. And,
it does look a lot like him, but I don't know if that was him.
Okay, well, whichever. It was dragon against creature more than like anything. Yeah. I didn't like that. What's her name had the kill shot to the creature.
It's her. What was her name? Katie. What was her name?
Oh, JBK's dad says it wasn't Fin Fang Foom.
I don't think it was.
It looked a lot like. I thought it was him, but maybe not. But yeah, whatever the friend's name who had never picked up a bow and arrow before hits a target from like a fucking football field away, and it
was a lucky shot. It was a lucky shot.
Man, I don't know how I feel about it, man. I was just like, I don't know.
I got a quick question for you. Then we're gonna get back into the movie. I got a quick question for you though, and it brings an interesting question to me too. Well, and see what you answer. Has any of the did Hela didn't die? Did she? Did she die?
They didn't show anything. They just showed.
I can't remember. I really cannot remember if she died.
No, he just raised it. But she draws her strength from Asgard and God, what's his fucking name? Destroys.
Because I know she's basically in the comics, she's the Queen of Hell, basically. So I get all their version of it. So I get all that, but I can't remember if she died or not. Here's my thing: has any main female? I mean, there hasn't been many, but all the main female villains, I don't think any of them died.
All the female villains haven't died?
How many female villains have really died?
How many female villains are there?
I mean, no, there's not many. I'm just saying, how many have died though? Because I know there's Hela, obviously. Obviously the girl from Widow, Taskmaster. Yeah.
Tasky.
Yeah.
And
Is that it?
That's what I'm saying. And they don't show Hela dying. They just show Asgard being destroyed. And so she draws her power from Asgard. I guess she's just diminished, or maybe she escapes to come back another day. And
she just
weakened. Yeah,
it's like, I'll be back next Tuesday. Let me go take a nap.
So I did have a problem with the kill shot coming from the side character. I thought that was a little whatever. And then
it's interesting how they seem to combine. They changed up how the 10 rings work, and I guess it was their way of doing it because maybe they didn't want to, and I think, honestly, personally, I think it's like because of casual fans, and they might be a little confused and get it mixed up, and they'll be asking the stupid thing of like, oh, this thing works like the Infinity Gauntlet. No, it fucking doesn't. But they definitely changed how that worked, and they seem to combine the 10 rings with the the galactic braces or whatever. They seem to combine those things together and made it one.
Funny that you say that.
Like that.
Gustavo says, "Do Marvel villains even die?" Yeah. Do Marvel villains ever live?
Yeah, they die all the time. That's the problem. That's the one criticism that you will see everybody has, is that the Marvel villains who end up, and let's call it what it is, dude. The villain in this movie, the real Mandarin, this dude was really one of the stars of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
He was such a great character, and then he died. And it was just like, really, bro? Really? We're going to kill him like that? He's going to pass his crap to his son, and this is stupid. Yeah. It was cool, though, how when he used it, it was blue. But when his son used it, it was gold. And it was basically saying, like, one is actually getting the full potential out of it, while the other one is not. So I thought that was kind of cool. One is more colder, one is more lighter, and stuff like that was kind of cool too. Because remember when the mom used it too, it was like gold. So it's like they're able to get the full potential where Wu could not get the full potential.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I figured it was more to deal with like how they were using it, almost like for not necessarily for good or for evil, but he was using it more for like conquering and power, while Shang-Chi was using it more for defense,
goodness, peace, and nice and all that.
Yeah,
I do think that's part of it, but I really believe it's potential. I think later on they're going to go into detail. I really do. I really think later on they're going to be like more of like, oh, he's able to tap into the full potential of how this weapon actually works than how the Mandarin cannot. Like, I think that's what they're really going to do. I really do believe that.
How did you feel about the comedy level in this movie?
His sidekick came very close to ruining things for me, but she didn't hit that level yet.
I didn't think so either. Yeah.
She didn't hit it yet. She was at times she was getting there, but she did. So I will give it that.
Yeah, again, the only problem I had with her was that she had the kill shot, but I felt like the comedy was on point.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think
that there was not too much.
It was fine.
And
no, it wasn't. I think it was okay.
So yeah, that part I thought was good, because whenever, I mean, we've had this discussion too, but whenever people bring up comedy angle, I'm always just like, they're called comic books, funny books, so there is always going to be a little bit of humor, and I mean that's with any movie, any action movie especially. There is going to be a humor element to it, but if they overdo it, it's almost like you're making the whole movie a joke. So
I thought my biggest issue with Ragnarok. That's why I will always hate the movie, because it's just too fucking.
Didn't care for the K character in the movie. It seemed like forced comic relief. And there's always going to be some comic relief. So I was hoping the 10 rings would showcase the individual powers of the rings instead of just force blasts. Okay.
Yeah, they definitely changed. It was funny though when she brought up, and again, it also proves my point that I've always said, even though it don't have to be proven, but Dragon Ball Z will always just look for reason to be mentioned no matter what's going on. Because she brings up at the end, she's like, and he shot him with a Kamehameha. I was like, that is so. I bust out laughing with that. I was like, yes. Turn the Daniel Bryan up in there. Yes. Like it was great. It was great. I'm sorry, Bryan Danielson's now because he's in AEW. But yeah, I love that, man. It was just freaking great. Like, it was great.
Gotcha. Okay, so comedy.
But no, he's right. They did change up because like the rings had all these different kind of effects how it did, and then again they changed it to basically, like I said earlier, pretty much what the original Captain Marvel used on his the galactic braces. Basically,
yes,
it basically was turned into that. They like mixed it together, and made it that. I'm not saying I have a problem with it because I can see them thinking this is going to be too close to Thanos and all the different powers it have, and people are going to be confused and think like, oh, like casual fans going to be like, oh, this is something with the gauntlet and the gauntlet's power, and it's not the same. And that's what they could have went with. I don't know.
Or maybe they feel it's too
soon. Right.
Or something.
Too soon to have something so similar to the gauntlet in there, maybe. So they're like, let's just change it up and make it unique. Because I'll give them this. I'm sorry if there's the biggest Shang-Chi fans out there. This dude was a C-rank hero. If you be nice, B-rank. That's what he was. He was a flat-out nobody. But this movie made him a big boy. Because remember, they even changed it where the bracelets give you immortality now. Yes. Like the rings ain't do that.
Right.
They ain't give you no immortality. This thing makes it boosts it. It's also funny too. Because if you look at the time frame of when the movie takes place and when it goes down, this dude can't be no older than 25 or 26. But the actual actor's like 50. I didn't even know that.
Oh, is he really?
He's 49. He's 49.
He looks good.
He does. Because it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. It's so funny. I forgot he was in all those other comedy movies. I totally forgot who he was. I really did. I'm not going to lie. I forgot he was in all those comedy movies.
Right. Yeah.
About 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, that makes sense why he's actually almost 50.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. I was very impressed with him as an actor, and his presence and charisma on screen I thought were on point. I was wondering how they were going to put him on par as an Avenger, but once they started
with
like
those powers,
with the rings, I was like, oh, well, there's no way that he's not now. So I do like these.
He's one of the strongest hitters now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They boost his power a lot. This is one of the beyond rare cases. Matter of fact, he might be the first. I think he's the legit first person. They boosted their powers to be actually better than what they was, stronger than what they was in the comics.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
because everybody else is completely nerfed to hell, and instead they just raised my man up.
Yeah, and we got to talk about this. So, a couple things. I know you brought up Ragnarok, and I know you probably did not like the Abomination scene. Yeah, dude, I watched it when they were going into the underground fighting ring, and I was like, all right, here comes Abomination. Let's see what's going down. And then with the shit where Wong just has him knock himself out, and then apparently like they work together. They do.
I guess Wong is training him or trying to help him. Apparently, that's the same one from that's the exact same Abomination from the movies before the MCU really kicked off.
And I was
that's the same one from the actual movie. But at least before old boy took over as Hulk, I should say, because it was still part of the MCU to be fair. But before old boy took over as Hulk, that's the same Abomination from that other movie.
Yes, it
same
is.
guy. I was like, oh, that's neat, because he called him by his name, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
They're not completely like remaking a new Abomination. This is the same guy. They changed design, obviously, but outside of that, it was like
they made him look a little better.
It looks more closer to what he looks like in the comics now. So
yes, 100% he does.
I'm cool with that. But no, yeah, they.
I was like, I was really hoping. I was really hoping that we were going to get an Abomination that was going to be like a real fucking threat for She-Hulk, because that's obviously where he's going to appear next. And I was excited. I thought we were going to see maybe him like beat Wong so bad that Wong had to run or something like that. Some crazy shit.
For Wong to beat him, he had to like unleash pretty much all his power or something.
Or something like crazy.
Super serious, yeah.
And no, we didn't get that at all. So I was a little disappointed, but I guess I'm not holding out much hope for his appearance now in She-Hulk. But
I mean, I wasn't really holding that much for the She-Hulk being good anyway, but yeah.
Well, I mean, not as a show, but for Abomination as a villain, I was like, that's dope. Now, like if they're gonna
I'm wondering if you're really gonna do a villain.
Well, Titania.
Oh, okay.
is supposed to be in this She-Hulk. I don't. Again, don't speculate on villains, guys. Learn from me. Like it never fucking works out the way you want it to.
Dude, She-Hulk is like gonna knock that dude out with like one punch.
Dude, I'll cry.
She's gonna be One Punch Man. She's gonna
One Punch Man.
My dick's gonna get hit so hard, my man gonna turn back to a human. He not even know where he's at, bro. When he finally wakes up a week later, he was like, "Yo, what happened? Where am I? What time? It's just gonna be out."
Oh Lord,
let's sleep with his life.
Yeah.
No, I will agree with that. What's very interesting, they also set a little thing up for the She-Hulk show, which I'm assuming when we look at the ending, we're gonna kind of, again, when we do these kind of things, we're not on like a super in-depth review. We're just kind of taking pieces out or whatever.
Yes.
And we're going back and forth, guys. But when they show when he actually became an Avenger.
Yes.
And he went in, and Wong brought him to, and they went to the holograph, like in, I think it was an Endgame when they did this too. They showed the holograph.
Yeah.
You saw Bruce Banner.
Saw Bruce, and we saw Captain Marvel.
We saw Captain Marvel, and obviously this definitely shows that we knew that the biggest thing everybody was kind of wondering is when does this movie kind of take place? But you can now tell it's been maybe a year or so for sure, because old girl was able to grow her hair back.
Yep.
And Banner's is all the way back to Bruce Banner now. He's not Smart Hawk, which I'm happy about that. Get that bum out of here. He's back to being Banner.
Yes. We have Banner. So I thought it was a very odd choice.
And his arm is still in a sling too. So that's also kind of weird though.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that is yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was weird. I thought those two were a strange choice for an after credits scene. For all the 5 seconds.
I mean, to be fair, who else do they got though?
I mean, we still got some people, but
Tony's dead.
Yeah.
Widow's dead.
Yeah.
Captain America's gone.
Right.
So as of right now, you could basically say he's dead, even though he's not technically dead. But he's gone. Yeah. Spider-Man's a child. He's a child.
Dealing with his own shit right now.
Technically an Avenger anyway. You a Hawkeye? Look at the damn Hawkeye was there. No offense to Hawkeye fans.
No offense to Hawkeye, but Hawkeye's show is next.
What Hawkeye gonna do?
So seeing something to do with Clint would be nice. We still haven't even gotten a trailer for the Hawkeye show, and it's supposed to come out next month. We can't even get like a piece of Hawkeye. So Rob says the underground fight club scene should have been loaded with Easter eggs of characters fighting in the background. I feel like it was loaded with Easter eggs, but because it was in a theater.
Oh, one of the widows was there. It was loaded.
Yeah. I feel like it was, but like
widows was legitly there
until we're able to pause, like scene by scene, like on Disney Plus or whatever. We're not going to be able to see every single.
Did you notice the widow girl was there?
I didn't know.
Yeah, she's there.
Could have shown.
I know it's right from the get-go. I was like, oh, ain't that the girl from the fucking Widow movie? And then later on, if you look at the credits, it even says her now. I was like, oh, it is.
My man's wanted an Easter egg of Wolverine. He said could have shown Logan like character with claws coming from his fist in the shadows.
Bro, if that would have happened, bro, oh my god,
I'd be.
I would have been crazy in that fucking theater, bro.
I'd be a rich man right now.
I would have been crazy. Jay's would be a rich man, but I would have went crazy in that theater, bro. I was all buster. Look, it would have been serious. So it's a good thing Logan didn't show up in that movie. That would have been freaking sick.
Chris would have changed his pants.
Yes, 100% factual.
It's like you go again to the theater the next day with a change of pants ready. You're like, sir, you can't bring pants into the theater with you.
I'm like, sir,
actually. Like, I don't want to know. Just go ahead.
Exactly. I don't even want to know. Just do it. I'm like, because if I have to put these up, I'm gonna have to remove my pants at some point in time. So it's better if I just braid these. Just
There's a child sitting next to me. Okay, so
look,
please.
I ain't doing all that now. I ain't R. Kelly, but my mind ain't telling me no. My body ain't telling me yes. That crap ain't going down that way. How y'all didn't know R. Kelly was doing that? That song right there, Bump and Grind.
Let me know.
That told me R. Kelly was doing that stuff. My mind telling me no, my body telling me yeah. Cut that crap out. Rapist, child molest. Look,
Look,
I don't care. I still love
not an R.
Kelly's
Kelly
music.
show, Chris. All right,
Um,
we're talking about Shang-Chi over here. You just want to bring R. Kelly up.
You brought it up first.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm the one who said R. Kelly.
Yeah, wait a minute.
The man is a musical genius. Yeah, had you convinced him? Like, wait.
I was like, damn, I brought up R. Kelly, and it was like, no, you did.
He's like, oh yeah, I did bring him up. Oh, wait a minute. But no, there was some Easter eggs in there though. Matter of fact, the guy that the widow was fighting, he was using that his body was glowing, and that was similar from the Hulk movie too, with them experiments.
Mm-hmm.
So there was Easter eggs in there for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, it does come out on Disney Plus in like a couple weeks, about a month. So we'll be able to pause that scene, and I'm sure the internet will break it down as they always do, just frame by frame, and we'll be able to see every last person if they haven't already, because some people have already seen it.
I know, dude. It's crazy on a breakdown. I haven't watched them yet because I don't usually watch people breaks down. I don't care that much, but it's so crazy how every big YouTube is like, all right, here's the Easter egg, all Easter eggs from the movie. I'm like, how many is there? And it's like a 50-minute video. It's like 15, 25, 50 minutes. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how many Easter eggs is this movie? I missed that much? They're like, here's me explaining the ending of the 2 credit scenes. It's a 20, 25-minute video. I'm like, it don't have to be that long to explain. All right, cool.
But let us talk about because we were almost talking about it until you brought up R. Kelly. But
bro, he is a musical genius. Go on.
So Wong is like, as soon as you put on the rings. So maybe this does go into what you were talking about the untapped potential of the rings. So as soon as Shang-Chi put on the rings, it sent out a beacon, and they were able to detect it, unlike the Mandarin wearing the rings for the past however many years. 10 years, I think they said he was wearing them. So
who was wearing them?
Well, I mean, obviously thousands of years, but he stopped, and then after
I was gonna say he had it for thousands of years.
Yeah, after the mom died, then it was 10 years. For Doctor Strange, Wong not to notice or pick that up, there was that. So but then as soon as Shang-Chi got him, they were like, as soon as you put him on, not only did we notice, but also there was a beacon going out to ?
No one knows. What's interesting is even like Captain Marvel, she's like, yeah, I have no idea what these rings are or what they're made of. And Wong is, none of my books even say anything.
Right.
So I was like, dang, they are really boosting these freaking, their rings.
And Bruce was like, the power is not
really
recognizable.
Boosting the power of this thing, bro. They're making this a big deal. And I love it. I love it.
Bruce said something like he didn't recognize anything from the power of it. Rob says, welcome to the team. Will the MCU defenders be Wong, Hulk, Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel, and maybe bring in Valkyrie? Or do they hold out for Strange, Hulk, Namor, and Surfer? That's a good question. I don't know. We know all their teams are going to be different from here on. Like anything that you think is going to be the team, whether it's the Defenders or the New Avengers or the Young Avengers or all the way down to like the Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers or whatever they think that's going to happen with that side of the team. It's going to be different. Like we know that's how it's going to be. But yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. I don't think Captain Marvel is going to last much longer. At least Brie. I don't think she's going to last much longer. I think we're going to get Monica as the new Captain Marvel. You think Ro's going to
take her power, like part of her powers too?
I think Monica, there's no way that they built her up so much in WandaVision just to scrap her. So I think that she's going to be the new Captain Marvel, whether they call her that or Photon or whatever they're going to call her. And then maybe bring in Valkyrie. I don't know about Valkyrie. I guess we'll have to see Thor to really know what their plans are with Valkyrie. Or I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
But I don't like the Valkyrie character in the movies neither. I don't know.
You just don't like that movie. So Shang-Chi.
That's a good point.
Shang-Chi and Hulk would be a dope team up, though. I do got to say, I do hope it's those two on the team. So that'd be pretty dope. Wong is always amusing. I do like to see Wong. So him being anywhere is just thumbs up for me. I've watched more screen time for Wong. Hell yeah. And Namor. I don't know. We'll have to see if Namor comes into play. Surfer, Surfer's my boy, so I'll put him wherever you want to put him. I'm all about it. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. But where do you think the beacon was going to, Chris? As far as, or I guess people I'm sure have broken it down already on the interwebs. But where do you think it's being beacon?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's like they have so many things where this could lead. Now, to be fair, the beacon could actually be what actually bring the dragon that you was thinking was. That could be a beacon to get to him.
Okay.
He could have been the one who actually put that in. Or it could be as simple as just something from the Eternals that the Eternals could actually end up bringing into play during the movie and kind of somewhat wrap that up a little bit. Like they kind of put that there, or they made it, or it was part of something they put up there to see how Earthlings would handle things.
A celestial of some sort.
Yeah, the Celestials basically popped it up there, so it could be that.
What Rob's saying here is that he read online the symbols on the ring are the same or similar to the symbols shown in the Eternals trailer. Perhaps the beacon is linked to the Eternals somehow or to the Celestials. It would make sense because that is the next movie that's coming for it to kind of link to that. Whether it is a beam to a Celestial, whether that Celestial is Galactus or not.
Now, to be fair, I would love for it to be Galactus, like it was a beacon to him. But it would be like, well, but how? I mean, I guess you can say as simple as like Galactus sent somebody to Earth, that person ended up dying somehow, or like something happened, and then somebody else got the rings, and then it didn't work right, and then finally, someone, when Shang-Chi finally really tapped into his true potential, he had it for so like a longer bracelet than the mother had, his mom had, or whatever. And he really got it going, and he tapped it in and opened the beacon up, and now it hit to Silver Surfer, and now he's gonna go tell Galactus. That would be kind of cool if they literally hold this plot point into the Fantastic Four movie, and then one of the end credits is you see this thing goes up, and the beacon finally hits to Silver Surfer, and he's just like, I need to go tell Daddy Galactus.
I need to tell Dad. I don't think it's Galactus. I don't
either. That's why I made a Daddy Galactus joke.
Daddy Galactus.
I do think, but hey, you got to admit though, that would be cool though. You can't tell me you would be angry.
No, I would not be. As long as they do Silver Surfer and Galactus correctly, I will not be angry about them coming in.
Come through a fucking building, bro. Go right through that building, bro. First thing he's gonna do.
Stop. You're all done.
I'm telling you, they're going to do that in the movie.
I'm about to put you in timeout. Turn around in the corner and face the wall and tell the wall what you've done.
Damn it. Some bullshit.
But yeah, I think I agree with what Rob was saying and what you're saying, that I think it does have something to do with the Eternals or the Celestials.
Yeah.
I think that does make sense. I did watch. I was disappointed there was not a trailer for No Way Home during the movie, but there was a trailer for the Eternals, and seeing the Eternals trailer, on a big screen, it was pretty cool. It was pretty hype.
I think that's going to be the most visually pleasing movie.
Yeah.
Like out of all the movies, at least that's been announced to me.
And I think it's going to be most visually pleasing. I just noticed watching it again, because I mean, we both feel about the Eternals movie that's like meh. But watching it and just like looking at how they designed so much, I was like, I'm like really seeing Kirby influence, which makes me happy, because it's almost like straight from page type stuff that obviously modernized a bit, but just like the way they show that one Celestial, like where they're just like, oh, who was it? And it was like bong, and everyone thinks it's Galactus, but it's not. And like just seeing that, or like the ship that was flying, and it was just very. There was a lot of Kirby influence for sure. Right. JPK's dad said the beacon obviously goes to Mephisto. All right, you're banned from the chat now. You're out of here.
It goes to Mephisto, bro. Obviously, it goes up, then it goes right down to hell. Then it tells
I'll see y'all later.
All right, let's talk about the greatness of Mephisto now while he's gone. Let's talk about Mephisto's awesome and Silver Surfer sucks now.
Damn. All right, you know what?
Just to piss James off.
All right, he's out of here. I'm so done with this shenanigans. Oh my gosh. But okay, all right. So then we had a second after credit scene because I'm ignoring your shenanigans about Mephisto. And we had.
Don't worry, I'll get back into Mephisto in a moment.
We had the lady basically training the new 10 rings, and then it says the 10 rings will return.
Yep. She said she was gonna disband them.
Yeah. But now that she's
change they made because leader, in the comics, Shang-Chi is actually the one in charge of the 10 rings after he gets it from his father.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it his sister be the one in charge. So that was interesting.
Right.
So I guess that's setting her up. To me, this has to be setting her up to be a villain now because she's jealous in the whole movie. And
you think she's going to be a villain?
I think so. It has to me. It has to be. It's good storytelling. If you don't make her a villain, it's bad storytelling. She's jealous throughout the entire movie of her brother.
Sure.
This was a jealousy move that she did. It was jealousy. She did this out of jealousy. And if you're telling me you're doing all this for her not to be a villain, then what? She's gonna be a good guy now with the 10 rings on her side? Like, nah, that's not how that organization works either. The organization does some bad shit because it has to. It's what you got to do. So she's gonna have. To me, she has to be a villain.
And it looks like she moved their location, right?
Where he has to fight his sister.
Right. It looks like
she wants the rings herself.
She moved the location, right? So she moved the location of the training grounds. Did it not look like that to you? It kind of looked like that.
No, she might have. But that could still be to regroup and have them come back later on.
Right.
Stronger than ever.
I'm getting stronger. I don't know. I mean, I guess that makes sense for her to come back as villain, but it would still be strange because they just fought to protect everything that they were fighting to protect, and then she's just like, all right, well now I'm gonna fuck you all over.
She was jealous,
right?
And then at the end of the day, her brother still is a big shot, and she's still, in the grand scheme of things, she's. Let's be honest, she's what is she? She's not. She's nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Her brother's now an Avenger. Is she an Avenger? Her brother got this immortality rings, braces. Does she got any of that?
No.
That's good storytelling. It's easy storytelling, but it's good storytelling. And you can build, and plus, let's keep it real. After what I established earlier and figured out, we need some damn female villains.
Oh yeah. No,
and now you have a new female villain you can put out there who has a badass group behind her. And then you can make her a savage.
Right. But just that they have to be careful not to have like the same story.
I mean, it's not the same story. It's just jealousy. Her father wasn't jealous of his son.
Right. No,
I
know,
was
but
angry and wanted his wife back.
Is she gonna try to take over the world, or is she gonna?
I think her first goal is going to be to get those rings for sure.
So she just wants the
She's going to try and get those rings, and then whatever her goal is from there, it could be a thing where she's like, he doesn't know what to truly do with those rings. I get them, and I can actually, like, whatever her mindset is, she could be like, I can do this better than he can, but I need to get those rings first. Like, and a part of it's going to also be her trying to, even though her father's dead, it's going to be trying to prove that she was worthy,
right,
of his love and like his respect.
They're gonna start singing show tunes like "Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better." Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better.
And then Tobey Maguire's gonna walk by in his, emo stuff, and yep, there it is.
Hell yeah! If they don't bring back emo Toby, I'm walking out of the theater.
That could be your Venom shot right there, bro. They just show up in that form first.
Oh, speaking of Venom, okay, so the one part that we didn't get to discuss about Shang-Chi is the numbers of how the movie did. 90 million in a Labor Day weekend. Not too shabby, not too scrubbalicious. Broke the previous Labor Day record of 30 million, held by Halloween from I want to say over 10 years ago. Is what they were saying. So because of the success so far of Shang-Chi, Venom decided Sony decided they were going to release Venom October 1st, or like the first weekend of October, instead of whatever they had been planning, or the conjecture that they were moving it to next year or everything like that. So they were saying, well, obviously people are still going back to the movies. It just depends what movie it is their exact words. And so they're taking their chance and shooting their shot and moving the movie release date to the first weekend of October, and assuming that other movies will follow suit. I would assume that Marvel is not now going to delay the release of Eternals, and that Sony is probably not going to delay the release of Spider-Man because of how Shang-Chi performed in the box office. So there is some good news to come along from that. Will it sustain? That's a good question. Will the next weekend have as much of a drop off as Black Widow did? So the question that is yet to be seen. I don't think it's going to be as drastic. I don't think it's going to be as drastic because it's not available on Disney Plus yet. People seem to like the movie. It is one of those movies that is like, I could see people wanting to go back and see it again. So I think it'll hold. They were saying, what they said though was that it didn't beat Black Widow for opening weekend though, at least domestically. So there is that. But yeah, I thought, breaking records, back to Marvel movie fashion, inspiring production companies to stay on track with their release dates. Always good thing.
But here's the thing. I think that there's a lot of factors too that.
I'm sorry, the comment just came in. I hope Sony releases Venom 2 straight to Delta Airlines and only show it on red-eye flights. What's wrong with this dude?
Nah, fam.
Cracking me up, man. Straight to Delta. Like, what the fuck?
Cool. Good idea. I'm
just taking a flight around the country for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Put it in 3D too. Put your 3D glasses on so you get scared while you're on the plane. I think there's some factors too that also helped Widow a little bit. I think still you gotta also look at releasing something on Labor Day weekend. People are still doing things too.
Yeah.
And traveling. So I think your movie is gonna take somewhat of a hit if you was releasing on another time. But I really believe even if Widow wasn't on Disney Plus and they released both of these movies and like this movie's just better.
Oh yeah.
And what hurts Widow too, even though this character initially was not necessarily Japanese Widow, no, but he wasn't like super powered and everything. But you still had all this cool stuff with actual superpowered people like Abomination, like Wong being in there with all his magic and crap. And the way the rings work now, and plus the rings is magic. So he had some type of element of powers being involved. Where one of the things that will always hurt Black Widow, and like she doesn't have any powers.
Yep.
Like, and hell, they really didn't even really go in as deep as they should have on the super soldier serum that they really should have really focused on even more than me, and they really didn't do that.
Right.
So it's just like she just comes across as just a really skilled, like a poor man's version of James Bond, just female.
Yeah.
And that's
another one of those too.
Huh?
I couldn't believe when they showed another trailer for James Bond. I was like, what? Because didn't Daniel Craig like publicly say that he was done with the role of James Bond, like in like an angry way too, not like I'm done with James Bond. He's like, I'm never doing James Bond again.
And I'm pretty sure when they came to him was like, yo, you want to do this role? And he probably even got even more animated, more angry, and was like, bro, how dare you come to my house? He probably pulled his pistol out, put it to their head, and was like, bro, I told y'all if y'all show up again, I'm gonna blow your mother. And they show him the check, and he was like,
yeah, the check made him change his mind for sure.
He was like, I'm sorry, sir, sit down, let's talk about this. You want some tea? God. And then they had some tea, and then he decided to play the role again. But no, like it's just, I think it kind of like, honest to God, like if Widow was just in theaters and it was the same exact setup, and you would have to wait a month or two to see that, would you go to theater to see the Widow movie?
No,
I wouldn't either. And I think what also helped Widow, what helped her a lot, is again, this was the first MCU movie in how long? So you're gonna get that boost of having people show up to see that.
Right.
I really think if this movie came out during the time it was supposed to, it wouldn't have did good. I don't think it would have did good at all. It would have did good for Marvel in turn, or at least good compared to other movies. But in terms of Marvel standard, I think the movie would have bombed. I legitimately think it would have bombed.
Yeah.
And some people are kind of saying it's somewhat bombed now.
Yeah. A lot of people were calling for Shang-Chi to bomb too, and like just haters. I think we talked about that a little bit last week.
This is actually a good movie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This is actually a legitimately good movie where, to me, everybody basically played their role. And again, the villain was captivating. Like, I find myself at times just like, yo, I'm with Wu, man. Let's get this shit popping, bro.
Yeah.
And then he died. And it was like, oh. But I'm saying, like, he is still good. And the Widow movie, I mean, seriously, like, who gives a fuck about Taskmaster after how they did him? I'm sorry, her. How they did her. Like, how no one cared about the villain in that movie. And even the main villain was a jabroni. He was a jobber.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think we're about there for today. But yes, lots of awesome stuff this week. We'll have lots more awesome stuff for next week. Now we're doing it on Tuesdays, so we can bounce around for the NFL schedule for Mondays.
Yes.
And so we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Oh, and next Tuesday too. So now we're gonna talk about that. I think it'll be interesting. It's some good old anime in here because I want to talk about the true reasons why people hate Boruto and love Naruto but hate Boruto. We're gonna talk about that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about that next week. As always, guys, we appreciate you joining. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that usual nonsense. And we will see you next Tuesday. Stay villainous and
fuck the Fantastic